You just relapsed once again. You were on like a 20-day nofap streak. You were aiming for 30 and you didn't hit your number. You feel ashamed. You feel just gross. I wanted to make this video because I haven't watched porn in 2 years. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly 2 years. I haven't kept count. It was before, since I was Christian. So I don't know, maybe like around 6 months, half a year before becoming saved, becoming a Christian. Once you give into porn, you're going to be just susceptible to every other form of lust. You're going to be susceptible to, you're going to have other forms of lust that you are just kind of delving in. You're going to be thinking of dirty things when you talk to somebody. You're going to think of dirty jokes. You're going to be just more perverted in your head. You're going to feel darker. You're going to feel more heavy. That is no way to live. And even if you're a Christian, you're like, oh, I'm doing my best. I only masturbate like, every other week, like once a week. It's okay. It's not that bad. It's just, I get it out of the way one day and then I don't have any other urges. No, that is no way to go about your life. You are minimizing your connection to God. You are minimizing how good you feel in life. You are minimizing the innocence, the purity. You are minimizing the joy that you could be experiencing. You are minimizing the move of God. You wonder why you don't feel God anymore. If you are committing sexual sin, if you are watching porn or masturbating or doing any of this with the Holy Spirit, and you wonder why you don't feel God anymore, that's exactly why. Yes, there is other ways that are gonna like block God in your life. I have a video on that. I don't know if it's posted yet. I've recorded it. This might be posted before that one. I'm not sure, but you will see it eventually if you follow my channel. But sexual sin is the number one thing that blocks your connection to God. It blocks God in your life. And because God is everything good, it blocks the good things in your life. So inevitably, you're going to feel less peace. You're going to feel less love. You're going to feel less joy. You're going to feel less mental clarity, less just all these good things. It's like, why would you want to? And for the people that say, oh, I just do it like as little as possible. It's like, did you know that you can actually get rid of the urge completely? Did you know that that urge can actually go away? You are so convinced in your head. And I know because I've been there. You are so convinced in your head. You've convinced yourself there is absolutely no way you're going to get out of lust. And that you convinced yourself you will be stuck in it for the rest of your life. When that is not the case. It is such an easy thing to trick yourself in because you don't know any other way. You don't know any other path. The truth is, in the spiritual realm, demons have more power over you the more you give into that sin. So you might have a stronghold right now, which is why your temptations are so strong, the urges are so strong, it's so hard. But you have to minimize it. You have to minimize until it goes away. So there's a few actionable steps here. This isn't like a full guide to like overcoming lust, but I will give you a few like steps and a few tidbits that will really help, that helped me. First things first, you need to have a purpose in life. There's no doubt. You have to have a purpose in life. Number one, if you are a Christian right now, your purpose is to evangelize, be a part of the church, be a light, and be sharing the gospel. That is your calling. That is everybody's, universally, that is all of our callings. Now your individual, like specific God-given purpose that you are meant to carry out is something you have to seek out on your own if you don't know what it is. So if you don't know your purpose, you have to spend time alone in a room, in prayer, fasting, journaling, writing things down, just thinking. It is going to be uncomfortable. Now, this is actually an extreme thing you could do. You can go rent a hotel or rent like somewhere like on the beach or whatever, and literally just by yourself, just completely secluded on your own, rent a room and just spend that time in your room. Don't take your phone. Now, you're going to hate this. This is going to be so uncomfortable. This is going to be so scary and so like just like out of your realm of ever like considering doing this, but it will help so much. And there's no way you don't find your purpose after doing this. So you spend the week in a room. Just spend 3 to 7 days in a room, away from your home, away from your hometown. That is a big thing. Away from your hometown, no phone usage, no computer usage, absolutely nothing except a journal, a pencil, nature, the necessities. That is all you get. 3 to 7 days, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to find your purpose. I have no doubt about it. Praise God, I know my purpose. My purpose is to share on here. At least my purpose right now is to share on the internet and use the self-improvement to reel people in to the spiritual and to understand the spiritual. And then through that perspective, come to Christ and live a good life with Christ, not like just the lukewarm 99% of Christianity, but like the 1% who actually want to live this out and live this good, amazing, beautiful existence with God. It is so amazing. So that is one thing. You have to have a purpose. You have to find your purpose if you don't know it. If you don't know your purpose, then that means your purpose is to find your purpose. Now, If you have a purpose, you're not going to be wanting to commit lust. The next thing is getting closer to God. So purpose and getting closer to God. The closer you get to God, the more you're just not going to feel interested or feel the urge or the need to commit these things. You have nothing better to do. You have no other better, more fulfilling enjoyment. So you resort to instant gratification. You resort to pleasure. Purpose, yes, but even more so with God. I made this analogy the other day to somebody. I mentioned that you don't need to light a candle if you have the sun. The candle is like committing the lust. The sun is like God. So if you have God and that's your source of delayed gratification, why would you need the instant gratification? Why would you need the pleasure? You don't need that if your number one is going to God. If your first thing is going to God, if that's your first resort, then you don't need all this pointless garbage. Creation is not the source, but the creator is the source. If you truly seek him, you will find the joy, the fulfillment, the pleasure, the delayed gratification in him. And really the last thing is you have to understand the spiritual. You can't convince yourself that you're going to be like this forever, because I'm telling you, it does go away. If you truly try your absolute best, if you actually tried your hardest for once, it will go away. Urges get weaker because you're not responding to them. The temptations get weaker. The demons are losing control over you. Over time, instead of doing it because your mindset right now is no fap streak. You cannot have the mindset of a no fap streak. Oh, I'm going to go 90 days this time. It's like, no, you need to just minimize it. You need to minimize and overcome it over time. It's not a streak, because you know what you're going to do when you go on a streak? You're going to mess up on day 30, day 40, day 50, right? Maybe day 5, maybe you're not that strong. You're going to mess up, and then you're going to immediately do it like 5 times. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the same day. That's what you're going to do. And the next day, what's the point? You have no awareness of the spiritual realm. That is not how this works, because 2 days can reverse your entire 60 days that you just spent not doing it. Now you go back 2 days later, it's like complete waste of time. You have to realize that you can overcome it. And you can't think of it by streaks. You have to think about it by over time, overcoming it. You have to think about it like, okay, I want to only do it like once a week. I want to just avoid, don't even think about it that way. Like, avoid as much as possible. Avoid as much as possible. Overcome as much as possible. Use willpower to overcome the urges as often as you can. As many times as you get them as you truly are able to. In that way, it'll be so much easier to overcome, because it will get weaker and weaker and weaker. And then it's no longer a problem in your life. Then, if you're truly diligent, you can completely overcome it, and you won't have any urges anymore. And your life is just in a much better state. 2 years later, you realize how much my mental space, my mental mentality has changed. I remember looking at women with lust. I remember the shame when talking to women, the unconfidence. There was no confidence about me, because I subconsciously knew the way I was thinking about them was wrong. I wasn't even treating them like they're human. Over years and years, and who knows, decades, you can overcome that idea, that subconsciousness. That is the power. I know there's memes of NoFap where it's like day 90 of NoFap, I'm a superhuman, right? But quite literally, that is your superpower. When you overcome lust, that is your superpower, is you get to live how you're meant to live, how God intended for you to live, the way that we were meant to be all along, the innocence, the purity. Just, this is the natural way of life, and yet 99% of people don't live it. And so I want that for you today. If you just got back into lust, I know this video is harsh and it's kind of like a stern, kind of thing, but at the same time, take accountability. Face what you just did. Realize what you just did. Go and write about it right now. This is a little actionable step. Go journal about what you just did, and why, and how to overcome it, and the stronghold. Just meditate on the stronghold that this lust has over you. Really think about it. Don't escape it. Don't pretend it's a whole nother personality of you, and then after you just threw the tissues away, you don't think about it anymore. It's not a part of you. No, it still is subconsciously a part of you. You can't just pretend. You have to face what you just did. Think about it. Feel the shame. Feel the negative emotions behind it, and then change. Take accountability. That is what I want for you today. I love you all, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.